My beautiful people, my beautiful people, my beautiful people, welcome back to another lovely episode of the Logic Over Emotions podcast / reactions. It's your dog, your brother, man, favorite African American, Melly, baby. Now, in this episode, man, we're going to do some more basketball. But in this case, we're going to go at something that's been going on for a little while now. Magic Johnson versus Stphen Curry. Who is the GOAT at the point guard position? Now, this is by Nonstop Sports. They have a lot of good stuff there, man. So I recommend you go check out their channel. Now, me personally, I got to put Magic Johnson, obviously, but I like Curry way more than Magic Johnson. And people are going to argue and say, oh, but Magic had hit this guy. The circumstances, we shouldn't be allowed to put that into the argument because the same could be said for Curry. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know how Curry would be without Clay or Draymond. We don't know how Magic would be without Kareem and all the other great players that he played with. You know what I'm saying? We have no idea, bro. So we can't really talk about that. So let's see if Nonstop Sports can give a better explanation than we possibly can. So appreciate you guys for getting me to almost 600 subs. Road to 1,000. So before we get to it, per usual, let's get to the intro. Damn, Jesus.
Dominated the 2022 NBA Finals. Andre Iguodala called Curry the greatest point guard of all time. Did Steph really bump Magic Johnson from the throne of the #1 point guard ever? Here's a detailed comparison between Steph and Magic to discover the true point guard GOAT.
And people that don't have knowledge
NBA championships without great
say he doesn't pass enough.
Magic had Kareem and James Worthy.
Like,
Jordan
stop.
never won without Pippen. Kobe played with prime Shaq.
See?
Steph won his titles with Clay, Draymond, and KD. But what differentiates Magic from all the guys we just mentioned was his ability to impact winning from the start. Kareem had been with the Lakers for 4 seasons before Magic arrived, and he won only 2 playoff series in those 4 years, despite winning multiple MVP titles. As soon as Magic was drafted in 1979,
so
the Lakers won 60 games in a season.
That Magic was a winner, which is very important.
And made it to the NBA Finals.
And a
Magic
leader.
Immediately proved that his leadership and winning mentality were at a GOAT level.
There you
Without
go.
Kareem, Magic started at center in Game 6 of the 1980 Finals.
Yeah, I remember this,
finishing
yeah.
with 42 points and 15 rebounds to lead the Lakers to the NBA championship, winning the Finals MVP trophy as a rookie.
Now, honestly, if he played center now, he'd probably get destroyed, obviously. But him being the point guard as he was, his IQ was through the roof, obviously, and he knew how to play the game of basketball. And if you want to play devil's advocate and say, let's say he played in today's game. Today's game is so advanced that Magic Johnson he'd be a 6'10" point guard. So he would know how to shoot the ball. He would learn how to do it and everything. He's one of those players you can put in today's game. And henceforth as well, you could put Curry back then. If you put Curry back then, he'd be a damn wizard. You put Magic up here, he'd be, I don't know. I don't really know. Damn, I don't know. That'd be phenomenal to see a 6'10" point guard that's long, athletic, and fast. I don't really know. The closest I can think of, me personally, is LeBron, but he obviously won't be as explosive as LeBron. But you know what I mean when I say like passing skill wise and IQ. Yeah, I definitely could see him being similar to him in that department. You know, and I definitely believe his shot will be a lot better. His 3-point shot will be absolutely developed. His mid range will be absolutely developed too.
Johnson won another Finals MVP in his 3rd year and was an all-star in every season except in 1981 when he was injured. If we account for his NCAA title in 1979,
read some comments after
the best
just to see
career
people's
start in
mindsets.
NBA history. For Curry, it took him a while to transform from a skinny tweener to a superstar.
Yep.
He started his career as a second fiddle to Monte Ellis and nearly got traded in his 3rd season because of bad ankles. Curry made the playoffs for the first time in year 4 and became an all-star in his 5th NBA season, which is a slower pace than any other player on the top 75 NBA players list. Steph has been a great shooter from the get-go.
Slowest pace, still top 10 though. Crazy.
But overall,
crazy how the world
as
works,
good of a
isn't
player
it?
as other NBA greats in his first 3 or 4 years, and that's where Magic has a clear advantage. Magic is often considered the greatest passer in NBA history, while Curry is without any doubt the greatest shooter of all time. It's kind of like comparing apples and oranges in terms of offensive output, because both players are 2 of the best and most efficient players at their position, together with John Stockton and Steve Nash. Despite not being a great outside shooter, especially early on in his career, Magic has an excellent career true shooting percentage of 61%.
Yep.
Just
yeah,
like
that's
Nash
true as
and
well,
Stock-
too. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't really know. I never watched Magic Johnson. I don't know. But I did look up his numbers like years and years ago. And I was very surprised to see how much of an impact player-wise he was. And to me personally, though, I have to take Curry in terms of impact. I know Magic Johnson was absolutely phenomenal, and I wouldn't argue if anybody would pick Magic over Curry either when it comes to impact. But again, when you watch the game of Curry and you see how quickly he scores and how efficiently he scores as well too, and as well as how he basically gives everybody team takeover, as well as everybody can kill you, not just him when he gets hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, he could get hot, do his thing, right? He could sit down and his team will feed off of that, for an example. I don't know if Magic Johnson did that or not. Let me know for those that have watched him. I'm sorry for my ignorance of not knowing, but I don't believe Magic had that kind of skill set. So, excuse me. And there's going to be people saying he's not a true point guard. And you got to stop saying that, because no matter what you say in the history books, when we look back and you and me are dead and gone, it's going to say Stephen Curry, second best point guard. Stephen Curry, best point guard. It's going to say that. So your opinion on something doesn't matter. Like, your reality doesn't matter if everybody's reality thinks differently about your reality. You get what I'm saying? So for those that will sit there, because there are people that still think Russell Westbrook is better than Curry, and that's just weird. And there's people that think Kyrie Irving is still better than Stephen Curry, and that's weird. There are people that think that Curry cannot pass, when in his rookie seasons he was passing, I believe it was over 6.5 assists a game, if I remember correctly. I apologize if I'm wrong. But then as the game progressed, he understood how to win. He understood he doesn't have to pass all of the time like that. He doesn't have to get all those assists all the time. He gets a lot of hockey assists, you know. But Magic Johnson, to me, of course, is the best passer, you know, hands down. You know, him, John Stockton, you know, very good passers, man. So, yeah.
who were some of the greatest shooters
I have
ever.
a lot of respect for
Johnson
Magic, too.
thrived thanks to his great transition offense, excellent post-up game, and efficient drives to the basket. Curry's true shooting is near 63%, and he's averaging 24.3 points per game in his career, which is nearly 5 points more than Magic's 19.5. However, Johnson averaged nearly 5 more assists than Curry, which would mean that he generated more points per game than Steph while being only slightly less efficient.
And that's very good that he said that, too. Listen to that again.
Which would mean that he generated more points per game than Steph while being only slightly less efficient. But here, we have to take into account the difference in eras and the style of basketball that was played. In the early 80s, Magic's Lakers averaged only 20 made threes in a season, while the modern-day Warriors often make 20 threes in one game. So, Steph generates more points off assists because he assisted on more three-pointers. Also, just the threat of Curry's deep bombs spaces the floor and opens up driving lanes, especially because you have to pick him up as soon as he steps into half court. Curry cannot be left open. His gravitational pull draws the defense, and it's the driving force behind the Warriors' motion offense. So just looking at stats doesn't account for Steph's hockey assists.
I have not watched this video, and I said that. It's just basketball, bro. And that's the thing. A lot of things are not put on there on the stat sheet about what Stephen. You can't put his gravitational pull on the stat sheet. You can't put his hockey assist on a stat sheet. I mean, maybe you can with the hockey assist. I don't really know. But it's just he does so much more than just passing, but still assists so much. I don't know if y'all really understand that or not, but
or all the baskets he sets up by demanding defensive attention everywhere he goes. Curry's off-ball movement is one of the best in NBA history, and he became proficient in creating screen assists, especially since he bulked up in the last few seasons.
What's your name?
Great video.
They call me...
Don't care!
The argument for Steph is that Magic played nearly 3 more minutes per game than him, which inflates his numbers. Also in the playoffs, Johnson's scoring average remained at 19.5 and 39 minutes per game, while Steph's increased from 24.3 to 26.6 in the playoffs.
And that's why I tell people all the time, too, Skip Bayless and them was like, don't believe them when he said, oh, Curry doesn't do this well in the playoffs. Absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. You can look up the numbers, look up the impact, look at the plus and minuses. Curry might have had 1 or 2 games, but we put Curry in such a high regard. And I get that. That's perfectly fine. When you have people that are just speaking blasphemy like Skip Bayless does at a regular all the time, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just look at the plus and minuses, bro. Look at his positive impact and look at his true shooting percentages. That's all I'm saying.
In 37 minutes per game. Steph also averages 27.5 points in his 6 trips to the NBA Finals, which ranks in the top 10 of all time, ahead of guys like Kobe, Kareem, and Larry Bird.
And people have been saying that that Curry is, and I hate saying this being a big Kobe fan myself, but I gotta call spade for a spade. When Curry's in the finals, he turns up. He does. And you can and you can say he's better than Kobe in the finals. You can say that. I mean, the numbers are there. But people love Kobe. People love the nostalgia so much that they really do hate saying things like that. And I love Kobe Bean Bryant so much, bro. I love Stephen Curry. I love basketball. So I will give the credit that credit is due. You know what I'm saying? For you to be ahead of Kobe, Larry, and Kareem, and that's not talked about enough. It's crazy.
If we compare their numbers per 100 possessions, it's clear that Steph generates more points than Magic. So,
yeah, I mean,
because
that's
he's
obvious,
extremely efficient with or without the ball, and because he creates so much space just by being Steph Curry, the greatest shooter ever, we have to give Curry the slight advantage in offensive output. And on the defensive end, Magic Johnson was never a great defensive player. He didn't make a single all-defensive team in his career, unlike the other top 10 all-time players. Even though he was fast running in a straight line, Johnson was extremely slow laterally because he was 6'9" and had a high center of gravity. In the 80s, his
That's funny. I never knew that. I thought he had at least one. Wow.
Lack of athleticism and lateral quickness was somewhat masked because the game was played inside the three-point line, and it was easier to get steals in tighter space.
So that means that if he played in today's game, well, I don't know, man. I feel like personally, I believe, not feel, because we don't say I feel, we don't say that. I believe if he played in today's game, he would learn how to adapt. I truly do. But if we're going based on the information we have at the moment right here, clearly it seems as if Curry's the better defender. But let's see. I could be wrong.
Due to his length and basketball IQ that helped him predict what the offense was going to do, Magic even led the league in steals. But don't let the numbers fool you. Allen Iverson also led the NBA in steals because he gambled and jumped into passing lanes.
Yeah.
But he was by all accounts a terrible defensive player. If Magic played in today's pace and space era, he'd probably get exploited and targeted on every possession, and it wouldn't be pretty. The same could be said for Steph Curry, whose small frame always made him a mark for opposing offenses. Curry was never a great defensive player in the past, but that has now changed. Steph has been bulking up, adding 15 pounds of muscle from his first championship.
He's actually become an above-average defender now.
He's no longer getting killed on screens and does not get bullied on switches by bigger guards and wings.
And people will argue up and down that his defense is still trash. Just ignore them. Because that's what I'm going to do. You say something stupid like that to me, I'm just going to ignore you. Because we've already seen this year him being switched on to Luka, him being switched on to Ja at times, him being switched on to even the regular season, Kevin Durant, him being switched on to Tatum, what's the thing? I'm sorry, Brown. My bad, Brown. There's people like that, and we've seen him hold his own. He'll get scored on, like here and there, of course. It's gonna happen. But we've seen him hold his own to a degree that we look like, whoa, what the hell is going on here? Like, we have seen it, bro. We have to respect the fact that this man has been told all these things he cannot do and has proven that he can do. And as who we are in America, we love underdogs. So when someone gives you this kind of thing of saying you can't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and he is destroying it, why don't we give him his proper credit? That's why I love players like Giannis, Jokic, Luka. I like them, bro. Ja, I like them a lot, dude. I really do. Because people hate on them a lot for no fucking reason, so.
In the 2022 NBA Finals, Boston tried to wear down Curry by constantly attacking him. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown targeted him in isolation.
And that doesn't work anymore.
Smart tried to beat him up in the post.
That doesn't work anymore.
Curry just shrugged it off, and the Celtics scored a measly 0.79 points per chance on possessions when they attacked Curry in isolation. Steph's improved strength, mobility, lateral quickness, and willingness to hustle made him into a plus defender, which is exceptional for a player past the age of 30.
Shout out to D Rose. That's my dog.
30. While he certainly isn't going to get selected for the NBA All-Defensive team, Steph has become.
I remember that bump too. That was so
dumb
funny. I ain't gonna lie.
He now has a clear advantage over Magic in this department. However,
that face.
Defensive guards in the NBA, and he now has a.
It's literally everybody that's hearing him say this right now. Yo, all the OGs too, man. Tell me why you wouldn't agree with this, or tell me why you do agree with this. Let me know, because someone's telling you this.
However, it's always difficult making
How do you feel?
Comparisons from different eras.
It is very hard.
Rules,
it is hard.
Identical competition and technology gaps are all factors that are nearly impossible to compare. But
I agree.
Athletes from the modern era are generally faster, stronger, and more athletic than the athletes from the 70s or 80s.
Oh yeah.
Bill Russell might be the winningest player of all time, but his 210-pound Chuck Taylor-wearing skinny body would be barbecue chicken if he played against prime Shaq.
But we all know that. But the problem is, a lot, like I said, people are in love with this nostalgia thing, so they don't like to put. People are in their feelings a lot. Okay. Again, I love Steph, but I love basketball first. People can argue Giannis is the best player in the NBA, but you could also argue Steph is as well too. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and deny and say, like, for example, that you're wrong if you say Giannis is. Prove to me, and I'll prove to you why I think Steph is. And if we don't agree, I respectfully will disagree. That's all. That's perfectly fine. I'll be like, all right, cool. I feel you. But at the same time, when it comes to Magic Johnson and players like Magic Johnson in those eras, him, David Robinson, this, that, and the third, I can easily say that if they were in this era, they would adapt. I can say that. But we can't speak on that. We have to speak on the information that we know from what era to that era. Let's take out the whole rule changes. Let's take out all those different things. And let's put into perspective his defensive skill set. And let's put into Curry's defensive skill set. Let's put into Curry's offense. Let's put into Magic's offense. Because if Curry was to still play the same way he played in that era, he would be the GOAT. And if Magic was to play in the same era that he would play in today's game, he would be an amazing passer. He would still, do his thing, of course. But at the same time, he would be a horrendous defender from what we have been explained to, and apparently he would be extremely exposed, more so than Curry was. And again, from what we know, his shooting wouldn't be that well. So you know what I'm saying? So he would. I don't know, man. I don't know. From the information that we just know, I'm going by information that we know. Now, if we're doing by eras and things of that nature, then that's obviously different. I think Magic would adapt. I have a lot of respect for him, but I don't know. I got to give it more to Curry.
If a 2013 LeBron got into a DeLorean and traveled back in time to play basketball in 1963, he'd probably average 75 points per game. Yeah.
Try killing bugs the worry free way, not the other way.
Like, if you're going by career and stuff like that, I mean, I got to give it to Magic, of course.
To attract and trap flying insects. They work continuously, so you don't have to.
This long-ass commercial.
Friendly, bug deadly.
We don't care.
Aside from physical dominance and modern technology, players today are just much more skilled. They handle and shoot the ball better, and are tactically more advanced. Most players spend their summers in the gyms, with shooting coaches, nutritionists, and personal trainers. So if you want to know who would be a better player, prime Steph Curry from 2022 or prime Magic from the late 80s, the answer is pretty straightforward.
It's going to be Steph.
Steph is a far superior shooter who doesn't even need to have the ball to be effective, and he became a much better defender. If a 2022 Steph time traveled to 1980, he'd easily average 40 points per game. If you don't believe us, go watch Magic Johnson's Game 6 highlights against the Sixers in the 1980 Finals. The Sixers were so slow in transition, and Magic outran them for nearly half of his 42 points, and they left him open on many jump shots, which were all two-pointers. If Steph Curry played in that game, with his ability to nail threes from 30 feet,
honestly,
it would be like hitting practice shots, because nobody would even guard him that far out. Magic's biggest advantage was his pace, ball handling, basketball IQ, and size in the post against smaller guards. A 6'9" point guard was a phenomenon in the 80s, but today's NBA is full of big guards that can handle the ball. If Magic played in today's fast-paced NBA, he wouldn't have a physical advantage. He would always be guarded by tall, athletic demons such as LeBron, Kawhi, or Giannis. Because he didn't have a great jump shot, defenders would treat him like Ben Simmons or Draymond.
They sag off
and forcing him to take tough and inefficient shots. Defenses in the 80s weren't
but that's if we're going by this era.
they were only allowed to foul harder. Even with the hand-checking rules in the 80s and the 90s, Steph Curry would dominate with his shooting and his superior ball handling, especially the 2022 buff version of Steph that couldn't get physically bullied. And because he is extremely well-conditioned, Steph would run circles around everybody, and players in the 80s would get dizzy trying to find him on the floor. So,
like, there's literally too much that he does. There's too much Steph does.
One point guard to save the earth from monsters in a basketball game. We'd take 2022 Steph over 1987 Magic any day of the week and twice on a Sunday. However, that still doesn't mean Steph is the greatest point guard of all time.
Exactly.
In terms of basketball legacy and the greatest point guard of all time debate, it's hard to go against Magic
It's
Johnson.
hard, yeah.
Magic
Gotta give it to
transformed
Magic.
the Lakers into a winning team, and they made 9 finals in his 12 seasons.
Now, this is going not on errors. This is going by the information that we have, the accolades and what has actually happened. And we could all sit here, and he said what he said. When it comes to Steph being Steph and Magic being Magic, people are going to pick, obviously, Stephen Curry because he does more for your team than Magic does. I'm sorry, he just does. You can sit here and tell me all these things about, you should have seen Magic back in the day. He explained to you why Magic versus Curry is so much different. The only thing that Magic really has is passing. And to be fair, I believe personally, the only reason why he has that passing is because Steph understands that about the motion offense. The ball's not meant to be in Steph's hands all the time. The ball is meant to be in Magic's hands all the time. I have no doubt in my mind if Steph were to have the ball in his hands most of the time, he averaged over 7.5 assists a game easily. But of course, you still give it to Magic because he's a phenomenal passer and a phenomenal in terms of IQ as well. Got to give it to him as well. Being 6'9", being able to see over people easily, just better advantage when it comes to passing easily. But when it comes to everything else, obviously it's going to be Steph. Obviously. But in terms of accolades, it's going to obviously be Magic. And I don't think people are going to ever catch up to him, to be honest. I don't know.
Winning
I love Magic. I love Magic.
Magic won the league MVP 3 times, most ever for a point guard. He made 10 All-NBA teams and 12 All-Star teams, and is generally more successful than Steph, despite retiring at the age of 31 due to HIV infection. Johnson won 73% of his games, which is the most in NBA history, and you really can't say anything against winning. Magic also had to get
a winner. No, he's a winner.
Bringing popularity back to the NBA when the league desperately needed it. And it's fair to say that Magic helped save the NBA from bankruptcy alongside Larry Bird. We are not doubting his greatness as a player. And if 1987 Magic could time travel to the future and train like modern athletes, his basketball
he'd be nice as hell too.
And winning mentality
he'd be top 3 easily.
More talent and more teams in the league. Magic would probably not win as many championships.
No, but he'd still be nice.
Still be a dominant
he'd still be nice as hell.
He'd play a lot like Luka Doncic.
Very good
Steph
comparison.
Still has a lot of basketball left to play.
Very good
he might
comparison.
Collect more hardware to catch up with Magic and rings, All-Star, and All-NBA selections. But even if he retired now, his legacy is already set with phenomenal shooting that changed the game forever.
As being the second best
Three is more than
point guard.
Steph made the whole basketball world realize it with his golden touch from deep. Steph is also the easiest and most humble superstar to build your team around. And that's why Steve Kerr calls him the short Tim Duncan. Just like Timmy, Steph is one of the best teammates ever who always makes players around him better, leading by example. One could argue that his shooting records, efficiency, and impact on the game make him the GOAT point guard. But Magic has simply won more with less time in the league.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, we believe Magic is still the greatest point guard ever, even though Steph
I gotta
is
give
a
it
better
to,
overall player.
Listen, great video, great breakdown, great. I thoroughly am with you 1,000%. Shut up. I thoroughly am 1,000% with you on Nonstop Sports. Get your like. But let's read some comments, man. Because we're gonna see some ignorance and we're gonna see some truth. Different era, different skill sets. In Magic's time, his skill set was never seen before. Specifically for his size, same as Curry, his shooting prowess is beyond. It's more than just shooting, bro. Again, this is what we're talking about. Magic is a top 5 player of all time, and Curry is not even cracked top 10. You're an idiot. If you think Curry is in top 10, you're not the brightest. Curry is still writing his story. Honestly, despite their different positions, LeBron is more comparable to Magic than Curry. Absolutely. To a degree. But people are sitting here saying, like you're playing safe, but Curry is all around the better player. Curry is better. Like, no, Curry is better. I assure you, 13, not a huge That's funny. Hold on. The way I see it, a lot of the NBA players ranked in the top 10 all time are due to their greatness. Boom, boom, boom. In my opinion, Steph Curry is a more skillful and talented player. Yes, obviously. A lot of skill in my top 10. It's a lot of hate. With Curry's immense offensive skill comes. Why y'all keep saying? You see what I'm saying? When people keep saying his subpar defense, he's not subpar anymore. They just explained to you that Magic was not good at defense. Like, come on now. I'm saying if Steph ended his career, I think he would go down as the more skillful, but less successful one. Yep, I agree. Which would make him less great. His career would be less great, but he's a greater player than Magic Johnson. I'm sorry. When it comes in terms of him just being skill set wise and everything, obviously he's better. Chris Paul and Steve Nash should know that. No. More skill than LeBron. Bear with me said, you're stupid. Magic went to the finals as a rookie. Okay. Okay. Where did he say that at? Impact. Let's see who responded to Impact real quickly. No one did. They just kind of ignored him. I kind of expected that. Magic is top 5 of all time. Curry's not cracked yet. That was such a silly comment. Notice how yeah. Okay, ignore that. As a diehard Curry fan, I believe he made a solid case, but I do hand the exactly. That's what I'm saying too. Magic has to be the GOAT point guard, even though he did make a good case, and I do understand and respect both sides. Absolutely. Oh, it's just a troll. Okay, I don't know if y'all see it. It says the rim guy saying LMAO Magic is top 5, hasn't cracked, and Curry's top 10. I'm not taking him seriously. And yeah, he's calling him 15 years old. Magic only had 2 start. Yeah, you're an idiot. Curry's fan base are the most ignorant casuals in history. No crap. Yeah, I would say MJ fans are MJ fans are very annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But again, he just explained how Stephen Curry literally is better at everything Magic does except for assists and rebounding, obviously. But even Steph has really good rebounding numbers too for his size. So, but either way though, still great explanation, man. I thoroughly did enjoy this, man. I really did. Saw it and they can prove it. What do you mean? Okay. Will Chamberlain was 7 feet tall with a 48-inch vertical, which is higher than anybody else in the league right now, and he didn't even have the advantage of modern shoes and equipment. He was a freaking center. It's hard to compare eras, but I think this video did it well. I feel you, but that's the thing. You have to have. I don't like comparing. Like, the only way I'll compare it to eras is if I'll say like Magic would learn from this era and become great as well too. He obviously would not. I don't think his success would be anywhere near what it is today, because there's so many freaks of nature in the NBA right now. So many freaks of nature. And as well as that, I think his defense would have gotten better. His 3-pointing percentage would have been better. I think he'd have been a way better player than me personally. But in terms of Steph, in terms of eras, it's hard to talk about eras unless you do like that. You know what I'm saying? You have to put into perspective as well that if he was in this era today, I think he'd easily be top 5 in the NBA. I think so personally. What do you guys think? Let me know. But in terms of just a GOAT point guard, it's got to be Magic. He has too many accolades. Too many. And it's well deserved. But of course, as a player that I want to start for my team, I'm going to pick Steph. I'm going to pick Steph. But I am. And people, and to the person that said before too that Magic as a rookie brought his team to the finals, he was a 6'9" center. He was a 6'9". He was a 6'9" center moving like a point guard, because he was technically a point guard. I mean, technically, I don't even know technically what the hell he would be, what he really was, but he was obviously faster and more fluent than any other center. So easily, it was bigger advantage compared to everybody else. So you saying that is just kind of supporting the point that there wasn't a lot of competition, but you got to deal with the hands that are dealt, so we can't use that as an excuse. And he did put up those numbers. Gotta give him his credit, bro. Have to. But hey, man, I did enjoy this video a lot. Simple as this. Magic is the GOAT point guard. Curry is the GOAT all around point guard in terms of skill set wise. I like that. That's just how I look at it personally. Skill wise, Steph. Career wise, Magic. Very simple. Very, 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 very simple. He broke it down for y'all in the video. If you don't like it, let me know, man. Respectfully, because I'm not disrespecting Magic, and I never will. Because I love Magic Johnson, man. I love his game. I love his attitude. I love his swag. I love everything about Magic, man. He was just smooth, bro. I love Magic, dog. So let me know, man, in the comments down below. This is a great video, man. I'm gonna react to more. Shout out to, I forgot their damn name, man. I'm so sorry. The Nonstop Sports, man. Check out more of their videos, man. This is really good, man. It's your boy Melly. I'm signing out. And per usual, peace, love, and keep the drip immaculate at all times, baby. Stay easy, breezy, beautiful, sexy, amazing, awesome, elegant, healthy. And most importantly, drink water, my friends. Peace and love, y'all. Bow! Road to 1,000 subs. Peace. Ew, that was weird.